This is macOS Ken.
Tracking the M2 MacBook Air, one analyst expects a price bump for iPhone 14 and a charging problem for the latest iPad mini. It is Monday, the 11th of July, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Notion, one workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at notion.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Upstart, fair and fast personal loans. Without getting too much into my stuff, I've learned a lot about personal finance over the past few months. Okay, actually, I've unlearned a lot of things. I'm starting again to learn it the right way. I say all of that to say if you've got high interest debt or personal expenses holding you down, if you think there is nothing you can do, you should learn about Upstart. Upstart knows you're more than just your credit score. So instead of just looking at your credit score, Upstart's model considers other factors like your income, employment, and other information provided in your loan application to find you a smarter rate for your loan. You can check your rate in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000 without impacting your credit score, and you can receive funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. Don't wait and check your rate today at upstart.com/macOSKen. UPSTART, that's upstart.com/macOSKen to check your rate today. Don't forget to use my URL to let them know I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/macOSKen. Your mid-July M2-powered MacBook Air is now your mid-August machine. Mac Rumors ran a piece on Friday, the day the machines went on sale, saying that deliveries for this coming Friday, the 15th of July, were donezo. Checking Sunday afternoon, both the entry-level machine with the 8-core GPU and 256GB SSD and the higher-end model with the 10-core GPU and 512GB SSD showed delivery dates between the 10th of August and the 17th. Interestingly, adding whistles or bells makes the machine move faster. On either machine, any change I tried brought delivery ahead about a week, landing the fresh air on my porch between the 2nd of August and the 9th. So I wrote that and then remembered about the various colors. 4 of them from which to choose. The aforementioned dates were for the midnight machines. While changing colors does change delivery dates a bit, Friday the 15th of July is off the table as far as deliveries go. For both machines off the rack, Starlight delivers between the 3rd of August and the 10th. Same goes for the Silver Surfer, while Space Gray delivers between the 27th of July and the 3rd of August. Just like their oh-so-blue brother, changing variables like memory or storage does bring deliveries ahead, somewhere between 1 day and 1 week, depending on the color. And of course, there is still a chance of picking up one this Friday. Last week's press release announcing the 8th of July pre-orders said the machine will be available in select Apple Store locations and Apple-authorized resellers beginning this Friday, the 15th of July. While the M2 MacBook Air ships with a 2-meter USB-C to MagSafe cable, I don't know, maybe you need an extra one? Or maybe you want the fun of a midnight power cord without the fun of a midnight computer. Whatever the reason, a piece from Apple Insider says orders are being taken for USB-C to MagSafe charging cables in Midnight, Starlight, and Space Gray. They're being taken for Silver as well, but Silver was already out there. Having already been a thing, you can order the Silver cord and get it delivered this week. Checking Sunday afternoon, the rest show delivery between the 19th of July and the 21st of July. Paying an extra $8 shows delivery between the 18th of July and the 20th. Apple also says that the new colors will be available in stores from the 20th of July The cord itself will run buyers $49. As new Macs make the scene, a number of older machines are slowly being shown the exit. Mac Rumors says a number of Macs and a couple of iPads are hitting the vintage list at the end of this month. That list includes the first MacBook Pro with a touch bar, according to the report. Quoting the piece, the first MacBook Pro models with the touch bar were released in October of 2016 as part of a complete redesign of the MacBook Pro. Other new features included a thinner and lighter chassis, the much-maligned butterfly keyboard, Touch ID, a larger trackpad, and the removal of all ports except for Thunderbolt ports and a headphone jack. That is a lot of doings that Apple has started to undo in more recent models. In addition to the three 2016 MacBook Pros, Apple's also adding a 2016 MacBook, a 2015 MacBook Air, two 2015 iMacs, and two 9.7-inch iPad Pros, one with cellular, one without, to the vintage list. You can see exactly which models are affected in the Mac Rumors article. The vintage designation means the machines will be eligible for service or repair, but only if the necessary parts are available. Expect higher prices for iPhone 14. That is the word from Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives. The Apple bull spoke to the UK paper The Sun, saying he and his believe a $100 price increase is coming for Apple's next communicator. According to the Analyst, prices have been increasing across the whole supply chain, and Cupertino needs to pass these costs to the consumers on this release. Boy, needs is a funny word, isn't it? Ives has an outperform rating on Apple's shares. His price target on the shares is $200. Not everybody agrees with Ives on the increase. CSS Insight analyst Ben Wood gets why Apple might raise iPhone prices, noting that production and component costs continue to rise for all consumer electronics makers. That said, he tells The Sun that given the cost of living headwinds, the Cupertino company may decide that increasing prices could be counterproductive. If you've been having problems charging the 6th generation iPad mini since the last software update, it's not just you. Cult of Mac says a number of iPad mini users are having issues charging the tablet after installing iPadOS 15.5. In a memo to support staff, Apple is said to have suggested telling users to completely restart the device, though the cult calls that a temporary fix. Folks who have tried it say the charging problems resurface in 3 or 4 days. The piece says Apple indicates in the memo that service providers should not replace the battery nor replace the tablet, since the problem is not a hardware issue, but one having to do with software. If you haven't gotten around to updating to version 15.5, Cult of Mac says hold off for the next iPadOS update. Whether that'll be iPadOS 15.6 or a 15.5.1 fix remains to be seen. More news in a moment, but first a word from Notion, one workspace for your whole team. Working by myself, I sometimes miss good, project-oriented working relationships. But here's the thing, a lot of times I miss those when I was working with other people as well. I was on a virtual reality project one time where a company said that they would build a certain experience for the group I was working with. 2 weeks later, they came back and said, "We never said that." I had it in my handwritten notes, but we didn't have one place where everybody could see and agree to what was being said. We could have used Notion, an all-in-one team collaboration tool that combines note-taking, document sharing, wikis, project management, and much more into one space that is simple, powerful, and beautifully designed. We often use phrases like, "Let's make sure we're on the same page." For projects and businesses big and small, it's not just a phrase, it's a necessity, a need that can be filled by Notion. Learn more and get started for free at notion.com/macOSken. That's notion.com/macOSken to help you take the first step toward an organized, happier team today. Notion. That's notion.com/macOSKen. Confusion in Colombia. Well, I'm confused anyway. A piece from Apple Insider says a court in Bogota has ruled that any products Apple sells that use 5G are in violation of patents held by Ericsson. After a bond posted by Ericsson, the Colombian court issued a preliminary injunction that bans Apple's subsidiary in the country from importing, advertising, or selling any 5G products. The company also has to warn and communicate with retailers, social media platforms, mass media, and other firms to ensure compliance. Now, none of that is the confusing part. Draconian maybe, but not confusing. Here comes the confusion. According to Apple Insider, the judge in the case decided that Apple cannot seek or enforce an anti-suit injunction from a foreign country that can prevent or restrict the enforcement of the preliminary injunction, which I guess means no other country is going to tell Colombia what it can or cannot do. According to the report, the so-called anti-suit injunction makes it hard for Apple to gain an anti-suit injunction against Ericsson, as that would go against the court order. So, Apple has gone to the Eastern District of Texas to file an anti-suit damages case. According to Cupertino's argument, the Colombian injunction gives Ericsson economic and logistical leverage to pressure Apple into giving in and paying what Ericsson wants, rather than letting the courts decide what's right. Apple wants the U.S. court to have Ericsson indemnify Apple from any fines, fees, penalties, and costs it incurs as a result of the Colombian injunction. The way Apple Insider explains it, the logic behind the move is that Apple's motion isn't seeking an anti-suit injunction, but instead an anti-suit damages claim, which would technically appease the Colombian court's limitations. I think I understand it. To be sure, though, I'm going to need a corkboard, some yarn, and some push pins. More Apple Maps features at more places. iMore says Apple's improved mapping experience has rolled out to France, Monaco, and New Zealand. The 14th, 15th, and 16th countries to get the expansion now have more detailed maps, as well as improvements to the 3D details of major landmarks like the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame Cathedral. And finally today, it is all fun and games until somebody throws in exercise. The Mac Observer says Gameloft, the developer behind the Apple Arcade version of the Oregon Trail, has added a fitness component to the game. According to the report, an integrated Walk the Trail feature takes advantage of data from the Health app on your iPhone. As you step through your day, you walk a virtual Oregon Trail that crosses Fort Kearny, Fort Laramie, Fort Hall, and more. All told, the experience spans 64 real-world locations on your way to Oregon City. As in real life, the more you virtually travel, the more you virtually see. The developer has added trivia to let users learn about the places they pass and their importance to the actual Oregon Trail in the 1800s. If you like the idea of gamification but don't play the game, Gameloft has a similar offering for Apple Watch. Just like the game, the piece says the Oregon Trail Step Tracker brings the trivia and motivation of the game, letting people trek past 11 settlements, 22 natural features, 15 river crossings, 8 landmarks, and 8 Pony Express stations. If you're wondering what it would take, Gameloft says the average person traveling 10,000 steps per day can complete the 2,000-mile-plus trail in just over a year. The game is available to Apple Arcade subscribers on iPhone, iPad, the Mac, and Apple TV. The standalone app for Apple Watch is free and available in the App Store for Apple Watch. And for those who have played, developers promise the Apple Watch app has 99.99% less dysentery. Happy trails. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Upstart, fair and fast personal loans. Learn more and check your rate at upstart.com/macOScan. This show is also sponsored by Notion, one workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at notion.com/macOScan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.